Her parents died before she was old enough to know them. Slain by a monster. Only a brother remained to her, a young man called Linixian. It was an uncommon name. He raised her alone, the best he was able. This girl, 10 years his junior. His sister, though not by blood. It was only honor that bound them. For he had been an orphan too, the same as his sister. Some years prior, a nearby couple had taken him in and raised him. They had a daughter then, and so Linixian came to have a sister. He swore to be with her always, and so he was. And though the girl loved him for it, she could never quite forget. She raged at the fiend responsible. That thirst for vengeance saw her awaken to sorcery at an early age. She swore to find the thing that took her parents and avenge them. It was a source of deep worry for her brother. He held to a strange creed. Even his sister would admit he was a peculiar sort. He forbade himself to sacrifice, as if he bore the act some grudge. At every turn, he was quick to reaffirm one lesson to his sister. Forgiveness is the noblest act. Behind his words, she felt he was urging her to forsake her revenge. And though she respected him, that was one lesson she could never accept. She snuck away to take Avalon's ordeal in secret. She felt that was the surest path to finding what she sought. Vengeance for what was stolen away. Without a word to her brother, she put their home behind her. She walked half the night alone. Then, a presence behind her. She turned and saw him there. It was no monster that killed your parents. These were the words that broke the long silence. I killed them for revenge. She was still an infant then. His parents had been sacrificed, and the boy was left an orphan. Their deaths had served to save the village from rampaging monsters. The task itself had fallen to one of the men of the village. After sacrificing the pair, he took in their child as his own son. The man had his own family, a wife and newborn babe. From day one, the boy bided his time. His was a warped vengeance. Why should he be the only one to suffer, he thought. He could move on if only someone else knew his pain. But who? A perfect candidate was close by. The daughter of his parents' killer. And so, he had his vengeance. He sacrificed the ones who took him in, and orphaned their girl. All to look upon someone the same as he, and find some peace. With understanding came outrage. The fiend she sought had lurked under her roof this whole time. He'd stood by her, smiling. Because he could not hurt alone. And so he shared his woe with her. Her anger exploded in a feral scream, and she charged at him. He made no move to defend himself. He willingly took her retribution. It was then he spoke. "Stop there! It's for the best!" How dare he? She thought back now, on all those times he'd preached forgiveness. He'd feared this, she thought, that the girl would learn the truth and seek her rightful vengeance. Despite her slight frame, the girl raged on, untiring. Bloodlust now clouded her eyes, to the point she could not see the fiend that crept behind her. It caught her unawares, and with a single blow it sent her flying. Her brother dragged his broken body to her side. And then he placed his hands upon her. He meant to sacrifice her like he had her parents. She shoved the bloodied boy away. He stumbled ever closer to the fiend. The monster's attention diverted from her, and she ran. A faint voice called after her. She turned to see it pick him up, then saw its fangs crush his head. She ran, desperate for her life. But all the while, her brother's final words rang in her head.